Hello, welcome to Southern Wreaths. Make sure you watch the video till the end for a sneak peek at my next wreath video. Today I'm going to continue with my football themed wreath week. I'm going to be making this UT wreath. This is a picture of it with and without the sign. This is going to be the last football themed wreath in this series. These are the supplies I'm going to use to make this wreath minus the sign. I'm going to start by adding pipe cleaners to this frame. This is actually an 18-inch frame, and this is one of the wreath frames that sticks up higher. I actually ordered this one from Craft Outlet, so it makes a larger wreath. I'm going to add a ton of pipe cleaners to this particular wreath. The customer wanted a very large wreath. They have a really big front door, so I wanted to fill it up as much as possible. And I'm just going to go around, and where the pipe cleaner ends when I lay it over is where I'm going to add my next pipe cleaner. Now you can see that I had actually done some trial and error with this. You can see the pipe cleaners are used on the side, but I was pretty happy with the way it turned out in the end. And a little trick I learned making this wreath is if you put the twist on the edge of the ring, on the outside edge and the inside edge, it makes the wreath fuller. It makes it measure larger than actually putting the twist in the center of the two bars. I don't know if that makes any sense or not, but if you need me to clarify, you can just ask. All right, after I do the inside, I'm going to do the exact same thing to the outside. I'm not used to working with the frames that stick up like that. So it was a little tricky getting the placement of the pipe cleaners right. But in the end, I think it turned out amazing. And now I'm just going to go around the outside and do the exact same thing. I end up with 12 ties on the outside and 10 on the inside. I normally like to keep the numbers even because when I do every other section, it all lines up. I'm going to start by adding this 21-inch white mesh as the base, and I'm just going to gather it and then attach it with a zip tie. This is a great way to get some thickness to your wreath. You can just use basic mesh too if you don't have metallic, because everything you put on top is just going to cover it all up, so you won't be able to see the rings. I know a lot of people have a hard time with using up 21-inch mesh. So bases of wreaths is a great way to use it, and it's pretty inexpensive to make it fuller compared to just adding lots of more ribbon. All right, I'm doing 12-inch loops or poofs. And I'm going to do this all the way around. I chose to do the orange pipe cleaners just because it's a UT wreath. But you would want to pick a pipe cleaner that matched with your wreath colors. And you could also do this method with a smaller wreath. You would just use less materials. It's always fun to do something different. I don't get to make large wreaths very often. Once I do my last poof on the outside, I'm going to move my mesh up to the inside and twist it in the nearest pipe cleaner. And that way when I go around, I'll just open the last pipe cleaner and add, so it's seamless. And now I'm just going to continue adding poofs to the center. Okay, once I get to my final poof, I'm just going to open the first pipe cleaner and add the mesh in, and then I'll attach it to my my wreath frame with a zip tie, and then I'll just trim the excess away. Or trim the excess and then use a zip tie. Either way works. I like to use a zip tie at the end and the beginning just to make sure it's not going to come loose. I've had pipe cleaners let go of mesh before, and this zip tie just makes me feel better about it not moving at all. Alright, like I said before, this is going to be a large wreath, so I'm going to cut the mesh pretty big. I'm cutting each color at 30 inches, and there were 22 sections, so I need 22 of each color. And since they're the same kind of mesh, I just stack them together and I'm cutting them that way. It saves time. Alright, to ruffle them, since they're so big, I like to put something heavy on it. And I always like to start the end by curling it under just a little bit, just so the ends look nice. And then I just gather it in my hands, kind of accordion style. See, it's very helpful having something heavy at the end. It makes it where the mesh doesn't keep curling up and you have to let go. To add my ruffle, I just open the pipe cleaner and stick it in there and then just twist it. I'm only going to twist it once because I'm still adding ribbon. And I'm alternating. I'm doing orange, white, orange, white. And this is what it looks like when it's completely filled up. Alright, now I'm going to cut my ribbon. I'm going to do them at 12 inches, so I'm just using my ruler to help me. And I'm going to put one of each ribbon in each section, so there'll be 3 ribbons per section, so I'll need 22 of each. And you don't have to use a ruler. You can use anything you would like to use. So if you want to do 10 inches, then you can find something that's 10 inches and just wrap it around. They actually make something, I think it's called Perfect Tails, but this works just fine for me. Most of the ribbon I cut is 12 inches. And the ruler's simple because then I can just slide my scissors beside it and cut it, and there you go. I got all those, and they're all the same size. Now I'm going to go through and trim away the ends to make a dovetail. I just fold them and then cut from the crease to the wire. Alright, these are the 3 ribbons I'm going to use. They're all dovetailed and ready to go. So I like to go through and stack them so it's easier to add them into each section. And I'm just going to take all 3 ribbons and fold them in half, making sure they're even. And then I'm going to pinch where the crease is. And then you just kind of pull out the ribbon to make sure it's not crinkled or anything. And now I'm going to open my pipe cleaner and add in my ribbon. And then I'll twist it 3 times. This just makes sure it doesn't come undone. And then I like to use a glue stick to roll down the pipe cleaners. This just makes it look nice. It gives it a finishing touch. You could also tuck them back or cut them away. Alright, now I'm going to fluff my ribbons. Kind of like a starburst effect. It's really pretty. Now I'm just going to go around and add ribbon to every single pipe cleaner section. And you can use as many or as, few ribbons as you'd like. I do recommend 2 or more. You could do 1 as long as you would do more in each section, like 2 of the same ribbon in each section. I don't know if I've ever done a wreath with just 1 ribbon in each section. And I'm making them all the same. You could also change them each time. Okay, so to add the outside, I have to take my pinky and grab a hold of the frame just to keep it from sliding so I can really get the ribbon in there. And then I twist the pipe cleaner. I twist them pretty tightly. It helps make the ribbon pop up. And then when I'm fluffing the outside, I don't pull it too far towards the inside, just so the ribbon doesn't overlap. I feel like that makes it look really messy. Alright, and if you decide to add a sign, you can. The customer picked this sign out, and it is heavy. So I'm going to add a lot of staples and a lot of pipe cleaners to this because I did not want it to fall. It's very solid and very large. Okay, so I have 4 corners, so I'm going to add the 2 top ones, of course, to the top of the wreath and the 2 bottoms to the bottom. And I tried to see which way I wanted to lay it on the wreath. And then I will actually go through and move some of the ribbon that I can move out from behind the sign before I add it, just so you don't lose that. But I wanted to keep the ribbon under it just in case the customer decided she wanted to take the sign off or she wanted to add a different sign in the future. She would have that option. And I did take extra special care when I did this wreath to turn it over and make sure the pipe cleaners were really secure to the wreath. Because like I said, this sign's heavy and I don't want it to fall on anyone's feet. But that's it. That's how I made my UT football wreath. If you have any questions, please leave them in the comments below, or you can email me at craftingwithlee@yahoo.com. I hope you enjoyed my football week. Thanks so much for watching. And if you learned anything today or liked my video, please like, share, and subscribe. Thank you.